The African Capacity Building Foundation is organizing the 5th Africa Think Tank Summit in Accra, Ghana, between the 5th and 7th of April 2018. Organized in collaboration with key continental and global development players, the summit is on the theme Tackling Africa's Youth Unemployment Challenge – Innovative Solutions from Think Tanks. Youth unemployment is at the top of Africa's development priorities. The African Union Commission declared 2009 to 2018 the Decade for Youth Development. The Decade for Youth Development is coming to an end with African countries experiencing some high economic growth rates which have not translated into jobs. Across Africa, youth are 3 times more likely to be unemployed than adults. Evidence shows that 50% of all youth are unemployed or inactive, 35% are in vulnerable jobs. A big concern and paradox is that youth unemployment rate is increasing with the level of education. Are Africa's education systems not investing in training young people in sectors where there is not much potential for employment? Professor Emmanuel Nadozi, the Executive Secretary for the ACBF, had this to say concerning African youth unemployment.
Yeah, if you continue to train people in areas that cannot help you to achieve economic transformation, you are investing in unemployment because they will graduate and have no jobs. Therefore, many graduates are wandering around without jobs. This is a major issue that must be addressed decisively and urgently. We at ACBF have continuously drawn attention to this issue in a very significant way through our studies, and we have already started tackling the problem by supporting universities like the African Institutions of Science and Technology in Abuja, Nigeria, in Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso, and in Arusha, Tanzania, that are shifting the focus of education to critical skills of science, technology, engineering and mathematics, STEM, which are required for accelerating the continent's inclusive and sustainable socio-economic transformation.
It is against this background and building on the success of the previous Africa Think Tank Summits that the ACBF and partners is organizing the 5th Africa Think Tank Summit. Objectives of the summit: to discuss the role that effective leadership can play in addressing Africa's youth unemployment challenge, to share experiences on how to develop the requisite private sector that can create jobs for the youth, to reflect on how to build the critical technical skills necessary for sustainable youth employment opportunities, to offer practical solutions for youth employment in Africa through the sharing of innovations and good practices, including entrepreneurship and agricultural enterprises. Expected outcomes of the summit: renewed, enhanced and sustained commitment of think tanks to proactively support the successful implementation of Agenda 2063 and Agenda 2030 with special attention on job creation, and roadmap developed for building and sustaining national, regional and international partnerships around developing of a coordinated capacity development program on tackling youth unemployment and migration in Africa. Our partners are the African Union Commission, United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, African Development Bank, NEPID Agency, United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, William and Flora Hewlett Foundation, Think Tank Initiative, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Regional Network of Agricultural Policy Research Institutes. Our co-hosts are Institute for Democratic Governance and the Government of Ghana. The convener is the African Capacity Building Foundation.